Building character, changing lives, 2 by 2.
Greetings. I wish I could be there with you today. I honestly have come to love Dubuque. I'll say more about that in a moment, and I'm so sorry that I couldn't be there. But given the circumstances, it didn't seem prudent to drive for 2 days to come up there to give this short speech in the context of the coronavirus pandemic. So we've resorted to moving from 3 dimensions to 2 dimensions, but I hope my message still rings loud and clear for you and resonates with you. And I also want to thank all of the folks at 2 by 2, especially Kristen, but everybody, for thinking of me, honoring me, asking me to be there. I want to point to you the fact that I think there's a parallel, in essence, between 2 by 2 and Dubuque, because I see them both as hidden gems. I didn't know anything about Dubuque the first time I came, and each time I've come, I've learned more, and I was looking forward to learning even more now. The last time I came with my wife, and 2 of our friends were there as well, and we discovered all these wonderful aspects of town. The Fenelon Place elevator, the locks down at Eagle Point, the homes up on the bluff, some of the great restaurants that are there, and the Hotel Julian, which is really another gem there. But the people most of all, who were just so warm and open and honest and forthright, just enjoyed it immensely. So that's why I wish I was there. Most people don't know about it, a hidden gem, but so is 2 by 2, because 2 by 2 is an excellent character education organization with excellent programs and a growing set of them, some of them in part to respond to the coronavirus situation and virtual learning. And you've got that in your town. How many towns can say, we have an amazing character education program that's local, homegrown, started by Kristen in our home, inspired by her mother? That's a rarity. And so it's really a gem as well. And it's spread well beyond Dubuque and beyond Iowa at this point. But still, that's the home base. That's the strength there. So I'm glad you're there to support them. But I want to say a few words about the shared mission. One of the things I noticed on the 2 by 2 website was that it says that they have an optimistic view of life. And I so fully resonate with and agree with that. All too often, what you'll see in our field and related fields is justifying doing good work by denigrating the world, attacking youth. We have to do character education because the youth are going to hell in a handbasket because these are the statistics about X, Y, and Z. Or lamenting that this is the worst time in history in the world. It's not. And if you really think about it deeply, when else in history, going back more than decades, century or whatever, would you really have rather to live, knowing what life was like then? Not just for the physical and medical reasons, but for the moral reasons as well. Are we perfect or even near perfect? No, not at all. But morally, as a human species, we're far better than we've ever been. And that leads me to what this Character Ed project really is about in the broad scheme. Sure, it's about helping kids be their best selves. The term I like to use now is nurturing the flourishing of human goodness. And sure, it's making better schools and school districts built on character education. But it's so much more than that. This is an eternal human project. And it's about building a better world. The only way to make a more moral world is to make more moral people. And that's what 2 by 2 is doing, and that's what we do, and that's what character education is about. Now, I come from the Jewish tradition, and in our tradition, there's a concept called tikkun olam. And it means to heal the world. And the notion is that every person who's born into this world has a moral obligation to add value to it, to make it a better place than it was, to leave it in better shape than when they entered it. So we're about building people, building more moral people. But really what we're about is doing that to make a better world. That's what 2x2 does. That's what we do. That's what character education is about. No society will long endure if it doesn't take care to socialize each subsequent generation. That's not just about the kids themselves, although it's about them, but it's about who they will become. Who will be the people to which we bequeath that which we have wrought, the world we have built? If we give it to people who are not prepared for it, who don't have a moral compass, they will destroy what we give them. In the world of business, I once learned that there's a rule that the third generation destroys the family business. I don't know if it's true. I have a friend who was the third generation and did end up killing his family business. But the idea is that if we don't pass down something to people who will shepherd it responsibly and have the capacity to do so, it won't endure. And that's a big part of why we do this. And there are countervailing forces. We are in a race for the hearts and minds of our youth, but we're not the only ones. And some of the people and organizations are not well-intentioned or working in opposite directions to us. It's not a foregone conclusion that we succeed. We have to work hard at it because there are obstacles in our path. And so we need to find the assets, and we need to invest in those assets. And 2x2 is one of those assets. It's a hidden gem and an asset in your community. And if we all want to, which we should, for 2x2 to endure for a long time, it has to rest on more than the shoulders of a few. It needs to be a valued community asset. And that's really what we're here to celebrate tonight. The fact that 2x2 has grown into a Dubuque asset, a hidden gem within Dubuque, and has been embraced by you folks particularly, but by others as well in the community. But we can't take it for granted. We've got to keep that going, or it too can wither on the vine, and we lose another asset in the grand, eternal human project of Tikkun Olam, of building a better world. Enjoy the barn, or wherever you are. I wish I could be with you, and thank you again for supporting this hidden gem.
Building character, changing lives, 2x2.